All right, so today we're going to talk about partner program tiers and when and why and what you should be offering different tiers. So we're going to go through some examples. We're going to show AirCall. We're going to show Pipedrive, I believe, HubSpot, of course, where you have a PDF that you can check out that is HubSpot's tiered system. Definitely check that out. But I'm showing this to start because this is what we provide all of our clients to get them through the thought exercise of tiers. So you'll see a couple things here. You'll see your typical bronze, silver, gold. These are what more established programs have. They have a typical 3-tiered system. The reason for that, of course, is to get their partners to help them alleviate customer success, support, and obviously do more with the product, right? More implementations, more sharing, build a business out of the product. HubSpot does this better than most. But we're going to show you some other examples. But over here, you see how it's or, and then it's broken off. We're going to talk about this today. You're going to have partners that you just want to be referral partners, right? These could be people that have a podcast or a blog. They may not be tech savvy consultants. They may not be agencies that even work closely with the technology that they're referring. That's fine. You do co-marketing with them. You do events with them. You see this whole marketing section of the tier. This is where you keep them, right? You give them a healthy commission, but you're not going to give them extra support. You're not going to give them a whole lot of free access to your product because they don't necessarily want it. Now, if they do want to implement, they do want to be supportive to their clients with your product, they're going to have to go through some level of training. They're going to have to be approved. They're going to become an expert or an implementation or consultant. Now, the other reason why I broke this off is because early stage teams sometimes can make the mistake of trying to set up tiers, complex tiers too early. And just remember, when you're going down the road of a tiered partner program, you have to track that. You have to have standard operating procedures on all departments to make sure that people know what's going on with the tiers. It's hard to do. It takes a lot of software. It takes a lot of time and thought to go through this and practice. You have to try it, right? So I break this off because early stage teams will most likely start here. They're going to have referral only, and then they're going to have experts. Experts are listed in directories. They are involved in co-selling. They are down here. They get all this great stuff, inviting them to betas. They get a little bit more commission because they are helping their clients with implementations, and they get extra support, sometimes direct phone support. I mentioned Zapier. Zapier is a perfect example. They do allow their experts to have a phone line to call if and when they need support. Whereas if I'm a user of Zapier, I just get a chat and email support. That's a perfect example. It allows the agency to have a much stickier relationship with their client because the client relies on the partner in order to get extra support, right? So I want to show that before we kick this thing off. But Heidi, let's talk about the why of partnerships. Heidi, go ahead and introduce yourself, and let's get started with the why of tiers.
Sounds great. Well, I'll just share my screen in a little bit here because I don't have anything to show right up front. But I'm the marketing manager at Keyflow PRM. And so, yeah, I just kind of wanted to share with you guys a little bit at first about like why partner tiers are important. And basically the idea behind it is that all partners aren't alike. Some partners are just going to want to pass a lead on to you, pass the word on, and other partners are going to really want to invest a lot of time and energy into selling your product. And so, yeah, basically what partner tiers do is mobilize as many partners as possible, all while, like investing and getting the best performance out of partners that are ready to invest. And, by, investing in them and offering more rewards, for example. And it's really important to standardize these tiers because since your partners, they all have different needs and desires, you just can't, personalize each time to each partner. So once you standardize these tiers, your partners can just enter right in and you can really get it going like a machine, do some workflow, do some automation, and that really gives you the ability to scale. So
awesome. Yeah, let's dive in. So if I'm new to partnerships, let's start there. And I'm going into a presentation with my team and my CEO about the partner program. a number of things are going to get discussed. Obviously, commissions, incentives, what makes my partner program attractive, which means first level tier, right?
Yeah.
That's where everyone starts. What are we offering partners? That's a single tiered program. Why do we need a multi-tiered program? Let's start there.
Maybe like in the first tier, you're just going to want people that might not have a lot of time or energy to invest in selling your product. Maybe they're just an existing customer that just wants to pass your name along. And maybe they're not particularly well networked with your ideal customers. So you might not necessarily want to put a lot of time or energy into that. So that's kind of where you get the first tier, is just, people that just want to pass a lead on to you. It's like, you don't want to say no to these people. You clearly, want that opportunity. But it's just they're not wanting to invest a lot of time, and neither are you. So it's just a minimal kind of tier at the beginning. So that's kind of, I guess, is the first tier. More of like a...
Yeah. So let's talk about this real quick. So we've got the first tier. When and why do we need multiple tiers, right? So the concept of a multi-tiered program, typically 3 tiers. My recommendation to all my partner teams when they're starting out is to do 2 tiers if it's a complex implementation. So my concept of this, and given my experiences with typically SMB partner teams under 100 employees that are getting their program off the ground. So I'm working a lot with the CEOs doing conceptual stuff, right? Heidi and Keyflow work a little bit more into the established programs that need a PRM. So their experience is a little bit different. But the way I talk about tiers and refer to tiers is, okay, well, you've got your first tier. You need a second tier to push them deeper into the program to get them closer to you. So you can really separate pure referral partners from experts, right? And the term experts is synonymous with implementation, consulting, these types of partners. And these are the people that you need to help you with customer success, essentially. So the concepts that I always talk about is, okay, if your product is a little bit heavier to implement, right? A CRM, for example, perfect. This is why all the CRMs have multi-tiered systems, because you can refer to HubSpot, of course, but HubSpot relies on their partners to implement, to help with the customer success, meaning they will oftentimes bring a partner into new implementations because they know if they just let that customer do it on their own, not only is the implementation going to go slower, but it's not going to be as optimized, as optimal, right? So they want to incentivize these referral partners to come closer to the product, to learn more about it, to help with the customer success so they can alleviate bandwidth, but also add stickiness, add retention to the product itself. That's why we do multi-tiers. So the concept of a 3-tiered system, that becomes a system of, okay, well, we've got something going and we need another tier, and we want to talk a little bit about what those look like. So maybe we start with some examples. I think we have Aircall, we have HubSpot. Which one do you want to show first?
Yeah, I'll share. But yeah, just tacking on to that is like, yeah, exactly what you were saying. It's like the expert side of the tiers. It's like these partners are usually really well connected with your ideal customer. And so therefore, they'll probably want to be a little bit more hands-on in the sales process. And therefore, you'll also have to train them more, because if they're going to not just be referring a lead to you, but actually, trying to sell your product or going, deeper through like the sales cycle, they obviously need to be trained a bit more and rewarded a bit more. And then the 3-tier system, mostly it's kind of broken down by responsibility, in the sense that the second tier, maybe these are really strategic partners for you, but in the second tier, they might not want to do the entire sales cycle or the after sales support. They might still just, want to refer a lead to you. So they might not want that responsibility. So that's where we can kind of make the second tier. And then the third tier is somebody who is very involved and already connected with, your ideal customers. These could be value added resellers, or, somebody who wants to work closely with those customers, and so they'll probably want to do more after sales support and things like that.